Here at the midpoint of the week, I'm joined by Aaron Thiele of agmarket.net for our daily market summary. And Aaron, yesterday, of course, was the big report day, but how did we follow that up with the trade in the grains today?
Yeah, yesterday following the report that came out at 11 o'clock Central Time, we saw a big spike up in the grains, both in corn and in soybeans, as well as wheat. We saw a big spike, saw some double-digit gains in both of those, and then it wasn't kind of sold off and maybe didn't sustain those gains initially. But we're seeing a good, strong trade here today with both corn, soybeans, and wheat futures all up at the moment. Corn's up 6 to 7 cents right now. Soybeans are up anywhere from 5 to 9 cents. And then wheat futures are up 8 to 10 in the Chicago wheat, and then Kansas City wheat is up 9 to 12 cents, as well. So yeah, seeing some continued buying and bullish price action following that report that came out yesterday.
And I've already heard the comments several times that it's finally at least a little bit of a bullish push for the corn side of the market. Is that how you feel as well, that we finally got some good news there?
Yeah, I think we finally got some good news for one. The market has been in such a bearish price action for basically the whole month of June, and so the report, maybe the funds and the trade was expecting some bigger planted acreage numbers on the corn side, but also just some bearish price action. And so hopefully with the way that the report came out, with the ending stocks being a lot lower than pre-report expectations, coming out lower, maybe we're finally getting some buying interest, and maybe we were a little bit oversold at the moment. So yeah, I think that there's good price action moving higher. Hopefully we can continue this trend higher going into the 4th. It's always interesting going into a 3-day weekend this week, and then also just the 4th of July in general. Last year it had some fireworks, pun intended, when the president spoke. So hopefully we have some good price action in trade news and just good announcements this weekend.
And it is interesting. We waited so long for those reports yesterday, and now we're not too far away from the next WASDE report. So how did the reports yesterday kind of set us up, do you think, for that next WASDE in July?
I think they gave us hopefully a short-term bottom and a bottom. I think I don't know that I'd call it. I think that the market's going to be trending. Obviously, the report will be big, and depending on how that comes out and what those numbers will say, will move the market. But I think that the weather and just the production that is going to be taking place throughout this month of July will be big, and the market will really be paying attention to that as well.
What's happening over on the other side of the trade with the livestock markets?
Livestock markets have been mixed. The cattle markets has kind of been a choppy trade, as well as hogs. There was a moment there that feeder cattle were up $2, and now we ended up settling mixed, mostly lower in the front months, anywhere from 30 to 45 cents. And then the fat cattle was also mixed as well. August fats were down 60 cents, but then deferred months were up anywhere from 7 to 37 cents. So a little bit of a mixed bag. Hogs lower as well. They've been a dog and haven't had the price action and the buying that we would love to see in the hog market either.
And with the cattle, you mentioned that choppy trade. Is that a pattern we should maybe count on here for the short-term future until we have that next news story to react to?
Yeah, I think that when there's no bullish price action for the cattle market, sometimes the path of least resistance and the easiest way for the market to go is down. We're kind of back here. We were back near the higher end of the market and kind of near some highs, and hopefully we can continue to trend higher and get some of those higher price actions. But yeah, right now with just the way that it is, when there's not a whole lot of interest in buying, and there's a lot of risk on the table, sometimes those funds and big buyers are maybe a little more hesitant to step in versus they're a little more hesitant to step in. Excuse me.
And just a question about kind of the day-to-day activity at agmarket.net on a big day like yesterday, where there's so much information flowing. Is that a day where the phone just continues to ring and you're talking with some of your clients throughout the day?
Yeah, it depends on the day, but yeah, we're mostly trying to be in contact with different clients and letting them know and keeping them updated on what's going on. Sometimes when the reports come out and they're a dud, there's not a whole lot to talk about, or maybe the market hasn't moved a lot. But in the situation like yesterday, we're trying to make sure we're available, but also reaching out to people and letting them know what's going on in case they have anything they want to do. But mostly just keeping them in the loop as well. That's one thing we try and service our customers with.
What's the best way for our viewers to get in touch for more marketing information?
They can find us online at agmarket.net, or they can call us here in the Wisconsin office at 608-384-5438.
He's Aaron Thiele of agmarket.net, my guest for the daily market summary. Aaron, thank you for the time. Appreciate it, and have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thank you very much.